He was feared by the world, until she saw his heart. Comment your country and the next story you'd love to hear. Once upon a time, there lived a wealthy merchant in a grand and comfortable house with his 6 children, 3 sons and 3 daughters. He was a wise and loving father who believed that true wealth was knowledge. He hired the finest teachers so each of his children would grow up educated and well-mannered. All 3 daughters were beautiful, but the youngest stood out above the rest. From the day she was born, people admired her gentle face and kind eyes. Everyone called her Little Beauty, and as she grew older, the name simply became Beauty. While the townsfolk adored her, this constant praise filled her 2 elder sisters with jealousy. The older sisters were proud and vain. They loved luxury, fine dresses, and endless admiration. They refused to mix with ordinary people and declared they would only marry dukes or earls. Their days were spent attending balls, parties, theaters, and concerts, always craving attention. Beauty, however, was different. She found happiness in books and music. She could spend hours reading stories of distant lands or playing the harpsichord and singing softly. Many respectable suitors came forward to ask for her hand, but she kindly declined, saying she wished to remain with her father a little longer. Then, without warning, tragedy struck. The merchant lost his entire fortune. His ships were lost, his business collapsed, and overnight he was ruined. With tears in his eyes, he gathered his children and told them the truth. They would have to leave their luxurious home and move to a small cottage in the countryside, where everyone would need to work to survive. The 2 elder sisters were furious. They refused to accept their new reality and believed their admirers would rescue them. But once the wealth disappeared, so did the suitors. The people who once praised them now mocked their pride. Beauty, though heartbroken, stayed calm. She comforted her father and promised to stand by him no matter how hard life became. At the countryside cottage, life changed completely. The father and sons worked in the fields, while Beauty rose before dawn to cook, clean, and manage the household. At first, the labor was exhausting, but within months she grew stronger and healthier than ever. After her chores, she read, sang, or spun wool peacefully. Meanwhile, her elder sisters complained endlessly, mocking Beauty's simple life and refusing to accept their fate. A year passed quietly until one day, the merchant received hopeful news. One of his lost ships had returned. Believing his fortune might be restored, he prepared to travel to the city. Before leaving, he asked his daughters what gifts they wanted. The elder sisters demanded silk gowns, ribbons, and jewels. Beauty asked for only one thing, a single rose. Sadly, the merchant's hopes were crushed. Legal troubles took everything, and he left the city poorer than before. On his journey home, a terrible storm struck. Lost, cold, and fearing for his life, he spotted a glowing palace hidden among the trees. Inside, everything was silent yet welcoming. Food, warmth, and shelter appeared as if by magic. He slept safely and awoke to fresh clothes and a beautiful garden. Remembering Beauty's wish, he plucked a single rose. Suddenly, a terrifying voice thundered through the air. An enormous beast appeared, furious that his rose had been stolen. The merchant begged for mercy and explained it was for his daughter. The beast spared his life, but only on one condition. One of his daughters must come willingly to take his place. When the merchant returned home and told the truth, Beauty did not hesitate. She chose to go in her father's place. At the palace, the beast treated Beauty with kindness and respect. Though frightening in appearance, his heart was gentle. She discovered a magical room filled with books, music, and comforts, and a mirror that allowed her to see her family whenever she wished. Each evening, the beast dined with her. Every night, he asked the same question, "Will you marry me?" And every night, Beauty gently refused, saying she valued his friendship. Over time, she grew fond of him. She admired his kindness, his honesty, and his lonely heart. When Beauty asked to visit her father, the beast allowed it, on one promise. She must return within 1 week. At home, Beauty's sisters, now married unhappily, envied her elegance and happiness. They tricked her into staying longer, hoping the beast would abandon her. But one night, Beauty dreamed of the beast dying of sorrow. Horrified, she realized how deeply she loved him. She returned at once. She found the beast collapsed in the garden, believing she had forgotten him. Through tears, Beauty confessed her love and agreed to marry him. At that moment, the spell was broken. The Beast transformed into a handsome prince, cursed long ago until someone loved him for his heart rather than his appearance. A fairy appeared, blessing Beauty's kindness and declaring her a future queen. Beauty married the prince, and together they ruled with love, humility, and grace. And so, they lived happily ever after. A happiness built not on beauty alone, but on kindness, virtue, and true love.